in love with me, but I'm not the girl of your dreams. Cause I've been rocking and dodging the beat of love. Baby, I'm not the one for you. I'm not letting you on cause you know my truth. But I know just what to do for you. Cause when that Jones come down, hey, na 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 na, hey, ooh na 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 na. When that Jones come down, hey, nothing you can do about it. Hey, ooh na 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 na, hey, hey, ooh na na na. When that Jones come down, hey, nothing you can do about it. So now you screaming, I led you on, but we both said it was just for fun. Now you don't want me to get up and run, cause that Jones came down, it was nothing you can do about it. You say you in love with me, my heart's on ice, emotions and freezer, and I can give you what you need, but when that Jones come down, hey, na 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 na, hey, ooh na 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 na. When that Jones come down, hey, nothing you can do about it. Hey, ooh na 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 na, hey, hey, ooh na na na. When that Jones come down, hey, nothing you can do about it. Now I don't know what to say to you, but blow a spliff and drink it a brew, cause you made it with when you pushed the issue of love. Talking about your heart is aching. What you mean, man, you gotta be playing. Never fall for someone who's taking love. Unless I check, we both are grown. Quit telling me that I led you on, cause it was fun up until the jump. When that Jones come down, eh, na 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 na, eh, ooh na 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 na. When that Jones come down, eh, nothing you can do about it. Hey, ooh na 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 na, eh, hey, ooh na na na. When that Jones come down, eh, nothing you can do about it.
Can you guys hear us now? They can hear us. You can hear us now, right? All right, so we're going to start over. That's the beauty of it. That is our show. We're going to start over. So, welcome to My Sister Circle. I'm excited to be here today. I am your host, Dewana. I am the host, Dewana. Can you guys hear me now? They still saying they can't hear me. Okay, go. Got somebody that said they can hear us. So, I am the host, Dewana, and this is our guest host today, James. How are you, James?
I'm doing excellent.
Ooh, I'm so happy that you're here. I'm glad that we have a male perspective here with us today. I'm glad that you said yes.
Yeah.
Because I did ask you last minute, so I'm glad that you said yes.
No problem.
That's amazing. So we also have Orion. Orion is not here in the studio with us, but Orion is out of town. But she was able to come in virtually and be on the show today. So, can you hear us?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, sis.
I miss you.
I miss you. James, thank you so much for being there. I'm sorry I don't have the pleasure of meeting you, but thanks for being there with Dewana tonight.
Oh, no problem.
So we don't have Keisha here either, but Keisha is celebrating her daughter's 19th birthday today, so we definitely wanted to make sure that she was able to go spend time with her baby and celebrate this big day for her. So we don't have Keisha here, but she did make sure that she sent all her love and her prayers in. Orion, where are you? Can you tell us?
I will tell you where I am at. I am in sunny Atlanta, Georgia.
Sunny. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna
I'm sorry, y'all.
through the Sunny
I'm
in there. You
sorry.
see how she did us? You see how
I
she did
am.
us? So I'm glad that you were able to travel today and get there safe and everything. You do deserve a
Thank you.
vacation, so I'm glad that you're able to enjoy. You don't have the boys, do
Thank
you?
you. I do not.
Ooh, so this is a kid-free trip?
It's a kid-free trip.
Now
Yeah.
listen, that's really exciting that it's a kid-free trip. So you enjoy your days down there, but I am so
Thank
glad
you.
that you were able to be here with us on the show today. So
You know I wouldn't
we
miss it.
I know I'm glad to. And I know Keisha wish she could have been here. If she probably could have did the show from the restaurant or wherever she's celebrating that, she probably would have linked in as well. So you guys
Absolutely.
listen, real quick, disclaimer, I couldn't wear my hat today. But I made sure that it was sitting on the table. And the reason that I couldn't wear it is because when I put it on, do I disappear, guys? Huh?
Just a little,
Of
but
course,
it's
now I'm
fabulous.
not. Just a little bit?
No.
Is it? Let's see.
I think you're good, sis.
It's good? Okay.
I
At
think
any
so.
given time that it disappears, somebody just put it in the comments so that I can take it off, okay? Because that's why I was sitting on the table, because we was having some issues, and I didn't want my head to be bobbling all over the place, so we made sure that I took it off, but I wanted it sitting right here so that you guys could see that I stayed with the trend of the Dewana fedora hats, okay? So, all right. So let's get on to it. So we are excited that everyone is joining us today. Do me a favor, guys. I am looking at your comments. I am looking to see who's on. I need you guys to stop and do me a favor. Just one little favor. And I need everybody to tag at least 5 people today. Tag at least 5 people in. Share it. I couldn't share it to my normal groups that I share it to, so I need you guys to share it to the Detroit sale pages, to all the groups that you are part of. Share it, share it, share it. We don't have that many viewers on right now, so I need you guys to get to sharing, okay? Tag people in, share, and I need you guys to interact on today. So that's the only thing that I'm asking for you guys to do today. Also, I want you guys to go and make sure, if you have not downloaded or streamed Miss Nee's song, When the Jones Come Down, I need you guys to make sure that you go stream that. It is on all platforms. So please go ahead and go stream her song. Please, guys, I need you guys to support her. She has been so kind to let us use her song on our intro. So I just want you guys to go ahead and support her just by downloading that stream, okay? Either on Apple, Google, whatever it is, YouTube, download it, please. All right. So what's our topic today, O?
Our topic is Unequally Yoked.
Woo! Yeesh. All right.
Heavy, right?
Heavy. And we would,
Heavy.
James, how you feel about this topic?
Oh, it's something that really needs to be discussed.
I agree.
From both perspectives, because some people don't know. Okay, some people don't know, what it is to be yoked to somebody else. Not unequally, but yoked to someone else, and how much work it is to put into it. So I'm ready to get into it.
You ready to get into it?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, James.
I'm 43 years old.
He graciously told me earlier today that I made him feel old, and I didn't mean to do that. I didn't. He doesn't look his age, so I would have had no idea that you were anywhere over 36.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't have thought that.
I'm 43, a father of 3 girls.
Oh, you got 3 daughters?
I have 3 daughters, ages 13, 12, and 10.
Okay.
I currently work at International Door Products. I run the shipping and receiving there. So, and occasional avid podcaster.
So you used to this then? So this is not,
I'm used to doing guest appearances. Eventually, I will start my own podcast.
Oh, I'm excited. Now that's exciting.
Yeah, I will keep everybody in the loop.
Okay.
Starters.
So what's your podcast gonna be about? Can you say that on air?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Sports and basically current events, but current events surrounding sports.
Okay,
So,
I like that. I like that. Orion, we gonna have to be make sure that we support him in his podcast when he
Absolutely.
starts that. So listen, so this is how I met James. I met James. He was he supported Emotionally Empowered when I was on Emotionally Empowered. So I know him through Ebony, and James was always very, very active on Emotionally Empowered. He would call in, he would talk about the topics with us. If it was something that we needed a male perspective in, he would call in. So when I posted yesterday that I was considering getting a male perspective, I was just so happy that you were able to take that call last minute, and you said yes, because you've always had an awesome perspective when you came in on Emotionally Empowered. Every time you called in, it was a balanced perspective that I respect. That you don't degrade women, but you give your perspective as a man. But you give your perspective as a respectable man, a believer in Christ. So those things are some things that I was like, okay, this will definitely be good. And so when Ebony said James, I'm like, all right, well, let me reach out to him. So I definitely appreciate you saying yes to being on the show today.
Oh, no problem.
All right, so before we get into the topic, really, really quick, we definitely want to give show our acknowledgement to our Sister of the Week. So that is one thing that we do every week. We shine some light on our Sister of the Week. We choose a Sister of the Week, and we just shine some light on that Sister of the Week. Sometimes they know they're being chosen, sometimes they don't. And so we always make sure that we pick someone, collectively. Now this week we didn't pick it because everybody was kind of busy. Keisha wasn't going to be here, and then Orion was going to be out of town. So I just took the liberty of choosing the Sister of the Week from our list that we had. And so if you can go ahead and put our Sister of the Week up. Yes. Now listen. Okay, I'm really excited about this Sister of the Week. Okay, because this is one of my sisters.
Okay.
This Sister of the Week is Lacidra, and Lacidra was nominated by Lady Tiara. Lady Tiara is our pastor's wife at the Worldwide Prophetic Kingdom Ministries, and she nominated Lacidra, and I'm excited that she nominated Lacidra. Lacidra is so amazing. I'm gonna read what Lady T sent me, that the reason that she nominated her, and then I'm gonna just tell a little bit about her as well. Okay. So this came from Lady T, Cedra. So if you're watching, this is who nominated you. Cedra, you are beautiful inside and out. She always keeps me covered and uplifted. She has a big heart and is a wonderful role model. She's an amazing and gifted intercessor and prophetic voice of these end times. She's a wonderful mother and has an open heart and cares for anyone God sends her way. I just want her to know that I love her and I appreciate her for everything she does. So congratulations, Cedra, on being our Sister of the Week.
Congratulations.
Yes. So I'm going to just go a little bit about Cedra really, really quick. So I'm glad that she became our Sister of the Week, because anytime that I've ever needed her, she has been there as a sister. She's my son's best friend's mother, and that's how we met. Okay. And just she's always there. So everything that Tiara said, that it's true. She's always there when you need her. She's always there to lift you up. Even if she's going through something, she's always there to lift you up. So I just want to congratulate you on being our Sister of the Week. You definitely deserve it, because you have been on your A game as a sister. So I just want to congratulate you on that. All right. So we are, Orion, you there? All right, so I'm not sure if Orion is on right now. So we are going to get into our topic. And so our topic is unequally yoked. So what I did, James, is I Googled the definition of unequally yoked, but I Googled it in a different way. I Googled it as in dealing with relationships. Okay. So do we have that definition to put up on the screen? If not, I can just go ahead and read it. Thank you. I appreciate you. So Unequally yoked refers to linking, joining, or uniting two people that are not like-minded or differ in morals, values, and or beliefs. So when unequally yoked was chosen, it was chosen. That topic was chosen because me and my husband always have this conversation where we hear a lot of women. Now, listen, ladies, don't get me, okay? I'm going to talk about this, but I'm talking about it as in a men and women, and then me and James are going to just dialogue about it, and Oriana is going to dialogue about it. Is Oriana back on? Oh, okay. Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you. Can
Okay,
you hear
great.
me?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So James and I. Oh, and by the way, my husband's name is James. So okay. So I'm gonna say it like this. So me and my husband always have this conversation about how women. Okay, women always expect a man to have the complete package. And when I say the complete package, I mean like this A1 credit, this six figures, all of his ducks in a row, and sometimes the women do not want to meet, not that they can't, that they don't want to meet those same expectations, like they don't have those same goals that they expect of him. We can take it all the way down to, a man, your expectations. I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, Oriana, when it's the expectations of a man holding the door for you, and you don't say thank you. Well, what are your expectations? My expectations, so we could take it to where it's even about the garbage being taken out. All right, you expect me to take the garbage out. Those are your expectations, but are you doing your part at home too? Do I have a warm meal when I come home? Is my clothes washed? Is things done at home when you expect me to do some things? So that was, me and my husband have talked about that, just because it seems like nowadays women really do expect, like, it's got to be all the way put together. No, I'm not saying that men don't. I'm not saying that. So what do you guys think about that?
Um, yeah, it's tough. Because if a man is doing the thing, meeting the expectations on one end, and she's not, like, for example, it could be a marriage between them, and she's not working, but he's taking care of the bills, paying the car notes, doing everything else, and he coming home and house dirty. Kids ain't taken care of. No hot meals. Things like that. That's not fair, and that's definitely unequally yoked.
I agree. Now, do you think that being in that sense of being unequally yoked, do you think that that's something that you can continue a relationship that way?
I've seen it done, and it kind of some men they handle it, but some men it wears on them. It depends on the man. If he eventually, that wife might come around to it, but at the same time she might not. So that's where she has to open up her mind and her heart to make a change.
I agree. So, what you think? Just on this part of it.
On this part of it, I think, especially in today's society, and I'm not a woman basher, or a man basher, but
Me either.
I
So,
don't like
guys, we just
I
hear us
don't
out
like,
on
yeah.
that one.
So, be level mind, yeah, even headed, when you're hearing us. I don't like the unrealistic expectations that men and women place on each other when they are not able. So, a big rule of thumb for me is I don't believe that I should require what I can't reciprocate.
Come on now, say that again.
So I
Say that one again.
you cannot require things that you cannot reciprocate. So I think that in partnership, if your husband is working just as hard, again, you being the helpmate, you should be able to meet him there wherever it is that he needs you, and vice versa. but I don't like the idea, and I'm sure we'll get into that. I have an opinion on that as well. I don't like the idea of men and women placing all of these expectations on people that they are seeking out to date when they don't have those requirements. I like to
Absolutely.
call that mindset the hot dog versus the filet mignon
Come
mentality.
on, yes.
You have hot dog mentality, but you are after prime rib, and that just simply won't work.
And it's not even, it's unequally
Yeah,
yoked.
yeah.
Okay? It's
It's
definitely,
unequally yoked, and
it
it's also
is.
very unfair.
It is very unfair
Yeah.
because how can you put those type of expectations? Where do you even go in the relationship when you have those type of expectations? Because at that point you bring in chaos anyway, because somebody is going to be always off, and then that just brings in so many different things into the relationship. And you have the men that expect, oh my goodness, you have the men that expect a woman to do so many different things, and they are not willing to meet any of your expectations at all, but they want so much from you. So again, ladies, it's not just me thinking that this is just today's women. It's men too, and it's a lot of things that happen that I've seen, where a man has been totally, he's okay with being totally groomed, okay, raised by his woman, and then he has these total, like, he doesn't want to do anything but has these high expectations that she's supposed to complete all these tasks in the relationship. And then when she says that she's tired of doing that, or when she's down, or if something happens, then then it's a problem. Now he ready to go, and I don't know, he ready to go, okay? He ready to leave. He leaves, okay?
No.
That doesn't make sense to me. So in those aspects, that is unequally yoked.
Yes.
So go ahead, James. Go ahead and pick up on that one.
Well, what I wanted to start off with is getting into a marriage or a relationship. The expectations should be met at the beginning, as far as like talking it out, especially in a marriage.
Yes.
Now, if the man isn't doing his part and she doing something, picking up the slack, man, you gotta step up there. You can't do that. Now, you probably went into the marriage struggling, and she knew that, but you don't stay at the status quo. You got to pick that up. You got to do you got to do what you're supposed to do. Period.
So in a situation where the man or the woman came in the relationship that way, how do you I know my opinion on that, but how do you then handle that? Like, if the man or the woman came in the relationship where they were not on the same, and I don't want to say the same level, because I look at it different when I bring up this part of it. It's not like I'm saying that he has six figures and she's a CNA and that's bad, because she could be elevating.
Exactly.
She could be growing in her field. But if this is a place that your mindset, you're comfortable in staying, how can you expect him? Okay, and we can even take it to the streets part and say, all right, you a CNA and you want this your drug dealer boyfriend or husband or whatever to bring in all these thousands of dollars so you can continue to wear your Chanel bags and all of that. But your mentality is you want to stay in that mindset. So it's not I'm dogging out CNAs or somebody that's building up. It's not that. It's just the mindset of where you want to stay, and you're okay with saying that. So I come in a relationship and I'm like, okay, this is where I am. This is where I am. How do you then handle that? Either one of you guys can come in.
Oh, I think it's a matter of, when you are getting to know someone, the first thing is to identify with what their mindset is, and if they are at a place in their life where they want to better themselves. Now, I could be a phlebotomist and you could work at McDonald's. Now, I can respect that because you have a job I mean, that might not be kosher to everybody, but I can respect that because you have a legal job, and you are trying to better yourselves. Who am I to say that you working at McDonald's and me being a phlebotomist, you could be an owner of a McDonald's one day, but as long as you have a go-getter mentality and you want better for yourself, there's no reason why those two people cannot come together and work cohesively to elevate themselves to the next level. The
I
problem
agree.
is when you have stagnation and everyone is comfortable. Well, I'm comfortable with just flipping the fries, and I'm comfortable with just working at Rainbow. There has to be a next step, especially at
Absolutely.
this point in life. Yeah.
You know, and that's where the communication from the beginning of the relationship comes in, because as you know, in a person, you should know if they working at McDonald's or whatever, that do they have aspirations to move up or go someplace else and move up. Like, it's, you come in and say, hey, this is temporary, and if you see that person actually doing that, then you know everything else will come along eventually. But to come instantly in and say, okay, well, I expect this, I expect that, this, that, and the other, you might as well just leave that person alone.
I totally agree with that. And
Yeah.
I think that, just like you said, just that communication should happen at the beginning of the relationship of, you know, even where do you want to go, and then we can even spin it to, now we can spin it to your beliefs, religion. We can even spin it to that, because that should be a conversation when you come in. So what happens though? What happens when you come into the relationship? Okay. And the belief system is the same, and then it switch.
Oh, I've been
Let's talk about it.
been
Let's
there.
talk, because let's talk about
I
that
don't think
one.
that's a deal. I don't think that's a deal breaker.
I don't think
No.
it's a
I
deal
mean,
breaker either.
I don't think it's a deal breaker because, like, okay, for instance, I mean, and I know my mom is watching, but this is really the only best example I can give you. My father is Muslim and is from Palestine. My mother grew up in a Christian household, but my parents obviously still linked up, had, you know, my brother, and got married and were together for a very long time. So religion, and my father actually converted to Christianity and was baptized and received the
Oh,
Holy
wow.
Spirit. You know what I mean?
That's
So I
awesome.
don't
Wow.
believe in throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I think you have to value people right where they're at, and a lot of times I think we miss beautiful partnerships just simply based on the fact that, well, he's Muslim and I'm Catholic and this is not going to work. I think as long as your mindsets are congruent with each other and you can learn something from each other, not try to sway them to get to where you want them to be, but just respect where they are, you could build simply off of that. And if you are doing what you're supposed to do in your faith, that will push the person to want to know more and maybe want to go in your direction or you go in his direction.
You have a situation?
Similar situation. But the thing is, I try to do what you did, and what you just said is, you know, respect that person and not try to sway them. This person was trying to sway me, and this is like, you know, and I was like, hey, you know, let's just, you know, go on the path that we're going. But it was always confrontation and bumping heads, and like I said, unequally yoked. It's like, you know, the yoke is a wooden thing that you put on the oxen to move.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
one could be tall and strong and moving, the other one could be small and weak. And they pulling a burden together. If they don't work together to pull that burden, you got one pulling and one is just hanging back. And that's basically how it basically ended.
So I'm actually, my husband is a PK. Okay.
Me too.
He is. He's a PK.
Me too.
You are?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So my husband is a PK. So when we got in a relationship, we definitely both were Christian believers. Okay. But now, as we, you know, grew and everything, that is something that he has right now took a pause in. Now, I'm gonna say that he's, you know, he has his own beliefs at this moment. So I don't use the term that we're unequally yoked because I know what his background belief system is. I know that. So a lot of our morals are the same.
Right.
Okay. So, we don't, but I wanted to give that example because now I go to church all the time. My husband, that's not what he does anymore.
He still believes in God, right?
He still believes.
Yeah.
So he has, he comes from, again, like I said, he comes from a upbringing of Christian belief.
Right.
So for me, and that's how we were in a relationship. We went to church together. I went to church with him. I seen him preach, and so that's how it started off. And I got to be honest with you guys and transparent that at the beginning when he stepped away from it, I was like, oh, what is going on? What have I got what is about to happen? Because it shook me a little bit because I've never dealt with that. But honestly, we don't try to sway each other. He doesn't tell the kids that not to go to church because of none of that. Like, it's none of that in the home, and I believe that it's because of what his upbringing is, that he still has where he believes, what he believes. And, we respect each other so much that does not, that doesn't bother us in a way of, not that type of way, not of in a unequally yoked type of way, but we do have that in our home. So I see a comment where it says a house divided against itself will not stand. So I know what that scripture means, but because of what my husband's upbringing is, that doesn't divide our house, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of the times too, I think that men and women of faith, we automatically, now if and you just feel like, okay, this is not worth the energy and I'm not going to get involved with that, you have every right. But a great majority of the time, think about how you came to God and think about who was the influential person that led you. You know what I mean? Now, I grew up in church. Dewana, you grew up in church. James, you grew up in church. A lot of people are not afforded that opportunity. They don't have parents of faith. So for you to turn away a potential spouse that someone is turning to you, or a potential someone that you don't know who God can send to you, you don't know what their direction is, you don't know what course you could lead them. So I'm a firm believer in giving people a fair shot to come to know Christ. Now, I'm not going to browbeat you because that's not our responsibility. My responsibility as a woman of faith is to introduce you the same way someone would introduce me if I was not saved or wasn't going to church or whatever. So a lot of the times, just to throw people out or push them to the side because, oh, they're unequally yoked, they don't go to church. How do you know that couldn't change? Give someone the opportunity to make that decision. And if they decide that, hey, like, it's not for me, or, I'm this or I'm that. I know everybody's like, I'm woke now and all that stuff. I respect it. Don't quite understand it, but I get it. I'm not quite there yet, but I get it. I think if we would just be more mature in how we deal with people when it comes to that topic, and people have core values and morals, I think those are the stepping stones for building any type of faith in any religion.
Amen.
I agree. So what about, so let's switch it up a little bit. And if we have any questions, let's see what I can, as long as the core values and morals are the same. Yep. So Vanita, you're on the same page because that's what O just said. Then we have some people, Rashonda said, some people will say divorce him, which is crazy, which is cray-cray. Yep. I definitely wouldn't divorce him, for that, especially just prime example of what Orion just said, thinking about how I came to Christ. Shoot, I was jacked up when I came to Christ and still have my days. So how dare I, divorce my husband because of something that he's deciding to, no, I'm not going to do that, because especially, and I will keep repeating this because I know what his upbringing beliefs are. Okay, and because our morals still match the same in the house, we may have some disagreements on how to discipline our kids, but our morals are the same in the home. Then definitely that would not be me considering us to be unequally yoked ever. Okay. So we can even flip it to finances though, and being unequally yoked in finances. How you guys feel about that?
I have a strong opinion, but
come
James,
on, then. Oh,
floor.
give us that opinion.
Finances are a funny thing. Again, I can respect any man that has a legal, okay, I bold, italicized print, legal job, who is trying to do something with his life. For me, I can only speak from my perspective. I am not at all worried about, am I worried about what someone's financial status is? Yes, because I also worry about mine, and that's something that's important to me as a single woman with children. But I am not going to be unrealistic and be like, I deserve a man that makes $900,000 a year. That, to me, it's unrealistic. It's silly. If I'm not making that, that's not something that I should require someone to make. So you have to keep things in their proper perspective. And again, if someone is a hard worker and there is potential there and they're not stagnant and they're not lazy, it's all full steam ahead. It's a go for me.
So actually, we have somebody saying we should put the definition of what being unequal. We did put the definition. We put one definition up of unequally yoked. So we did put that up at the beginning of the show. And to piggyback off of what Orion was saying about the finances, I totally agree with that. I just think that sometimes the expectations of when it comes to finances. Now, I think that when you point out that it should be a conversation first, that should be a huge conversation. And I don't think enough of us have that conversation about finances. I have a sister that tells a close friend sister that told me how she started her relationship off, her marriage off, with the different conversations that they would have, and finances it was one of those conversations. And it should be a conversation, but it's typically not a conversation. You go in and you show what the surface financial things are. That's what shows, just the surface things. So I see what you spend when we go out, I see what kind of car you drive, I see what kind of, but never deep down of how do you handle your finances, what does it look like this way, what does it look like when you after you pay all your bills, do you still got extra? Never is it. I'm not gonna say never, it's not a lot of times those conversations don't happen, but I won't go in with the expectations of, like Orion said, that I'm making $60,000 a year, and I'm gonna say, oh no, my man better make $100,000, $500,000, $500,000 a year. And I think that to put those type of expectations, it definitely should just be a conversation first, because some men are willing to they're okay with that, but it's just, I think it's how we go about it. Just the attitude is what makes the difference.
Yeah, sometimes you miss out on your blessing.
Woo, say that.
Amen.
That man might not have 100 or make 100 or $500,000 a year, but he might be working towards it, and you just skipped out on something. So
you skipped out on it because he's not actively buying you Chanel bags and things like that. So he doesn't believe in spending his money, just spending it. And okay, he may be a little bit more frugal, and so you don't see that he is seriously, he's working towards being a millionaire.
Some men are definitely, if they really love you, they working towards making the life real comfortable for you. So, you have to be patient with that man, especially if you see him advancing. It might not be as fast as you want it to be, but if he's a good man and he's working, and you see him go to work every day, he working on it.
Come on.
He's working on it.
My husband works so hard. That's one of the areas that his strengths. He is a hard worker. his desire is to make sure that he always provides for his household. Like, that is his happy place. His happy place is to be a great provider. He loves going to work. He loves working, you know, I'm not gonna say he loves going to work all the time, because he gets tired as well. But he seriously does. His work ethics are so amazing. Even at home, you know, he can start a project and he won't stop the project until it's finished. If he not gonna finish the project, he typically won't even start the project, because that is how his work ethics are, because he really feels strongly about making sure that things are done in excellence and that he's providing for his family in excellence. And that's just something for me that, you know, yes, I see how he's working towards being the person that I know he's gonna be. So definitely, because and I don't make $500,000 yet, so I can't put that expectation on him, but I can be his helpmeet and work towards that with him.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting on it. Go ahead.
Someone just commented, "Oh, you got $20,000 in debt and he has 15. This should be discussed."
All right. Well, let's discuss it.
Well, that's Vanita Yvette?
Yep.
Okay.
Why not work together to fix your debt and come up on top together? Why not do that? I mean, but there's a lot of, I'm not just going to say women, there's men and women too. Oh, she in debt. Oh, he in debt. Okay, fine. You know, we all have our debt. We all have something. But again, realistic expectations. People have debt from school. People have debt from all types of things in life. That should not rule out. I personally don't believe. I don't think that should rule out your coming together with them. What a great deal of what we're missing here is the character of people. You are looking, when you get into things like what's his credit score and how much money he makes, you're not focusing on if he's going to be faithful to you, if he's going to pray over you when you're sick, is he going to be a good leader of your household. You are mainly focused on whether or not he can sustain you financially so you can go on shopping trips, or whether she can financially supply for you so you can keep on buying Jordans. Is finances a big deal? Of course, finances are huge. None of us are getting younger. We're getting older, and all of us want to be comfortable and responsible. But I'm just like, I don't believe, me personally, I'm not going to shun someone because they are trying to make steps to fix their lives financially or whatever. I just think that's silly.
You know, it could be college debt, you know, and, you know,
absolutely
that happens to everybody. And if you're making already making steps towards, you know, fixing it, you know, y'all can fix it together, you know.
Amen.
So I mean, you know, being in debt, everybody's in debt. So in debt to somebody, you know. So trust me, I worked on my credit score. I did it by myself, but hey, like I said, but if you got two people there, y'all love each other, and like you said, you know, he's going to pray over you. He's going to look after you. He's going to protect you. He's going to provide for you. Y'all can do that together, because God, you know, what God puts together, he'll never break apart. So
that's right.
So Rashonda says, sometimes you may be the woman to make it safe to tell him you don't need that purse, but we can pay off this debt. And yeah,
I love that.
Yes, and
I love that.
That is really good, because it's not that's not talked about, you know, where you do have women that are willing to say, okay, well, let's not do this today. You know, we gonna do this. We're gonna pay this bill off. Let's set it aside. And it is what we, you know, are supposed to do as a helpmeet. We are supposed to do just what she just said, and that's the goal that we all should work towards. And, you know, the unequally yoked topic is not you know, when we choose the topics, so just so I'm gonna tell everybody real quick. So when we choose the topics, it's not always a biblical, even though we'll choose the name as what it is. It's not always going to come off that as a spiritual standpoint, because we want to make sure that we speak to people that are not, that don't know the word of God, that don't know, what that actually means in the spirit realm, but in the natural as well, because the natural being unequally yoked are some of the things that we've already talked about. And so we actually can, what is it? So we can actually go into even talking about unequally yoked sexually in a relationship. What y'all thinking? Let's talk
Oh
about
boy.
it. Ooh, you look just like your
boy.
mom when you said, "Oh boy." I think even the expectations on that is just it's they different.
Sexual compatibility again. Now I'm not going to put myself on Front Street, but I will say sexual compatibility is a major thing, I think, when you are engaging with someone. If you are not equally yoked, or meeting at a common ground in that area, I think those are the breeding grounds for infidelity, for trust issues, for feeling inferior, and just like a host of other problems. So that's something major. I mean, sex is not everything, but it is something. I mean, or else it wouldn't be a part of our lives. So that's all I'll say on that.
So real quick, we're gonna answer Dominique's question. She said, "What about spiritually unequally yoked? What are the directions for that?" So we did talk a little bit about that towards the beginning, but I think that if we just go back onto that, being spiritually unequally yoked is not always. I think the direction for that is what are you willing to accept, and how far are you willing to go with that person being unequally yoked spiritually, because you can have that relationship or marriage or spiritually unequally yoked. And I think it's just more so of changing your mindset and what are you willing to put into it to get to where you need to be spiritually. And I think that's where we have to change. For me, that's what I would say for me.
I can use an example. I knew a couple at church, and always it was one of my friends, and his mom was always in church, but his dad wasn't. But his dad, it took him like maybe about 18, 20 years. He finally came around and came to church because he saw what his wife was about. And she never pressured him or anything. You got to go to church. Sometimes he was a good man too. Sometimes you just got to live your life. As long as he ain't worshiping Satan or nothing, or anything like that, then you need to get out. But other than that, I mean, sometimes you living your life is the example he needs to see.
Oh, I agree.
Or she needs to see for him to get led to Christ.
I totally agree. And I think that when we stop a minute and, like Orion said, think about how we came to Christ, I think that when we take that into consideration of, okay, I was in the streets, or I was doing these things as well, but I came to Christ. I think then when we have that patience and that prayer life where we are going to put the work in, and let that person see the changes in us, because I think sometimes maybe at the beginning of when I first, decided that I was going to take that walk with Christ, I think at the beginning, I had a lot of setbacks, and for my husband to see some of the things, it was like, oh, okay, I had to watch it. I had to definitely be really careful in how I lived, because I had to make sure that what he seen was for real, the God in me, and not seeing for real that flesh get angry, cuss him out and do the things that I was doing, because he needed to see the change in me, so that if and when he decides to come back to Christ, then he seen the example in me. He seen that God was in me, and I showed that in my walk every day, and not just did the typical, the slip backs of, all right, I'm pissed off today, so let me cuss him out. And then tomorrow, I'm praying and acting like I'm just like so holier than thou. No, he couldn't see that, because then he's the first person that can call me fake. He the very first person. We live together. We in the same house. He's the very first person that can call me out on my mess, and then that could stop him, could hinder him from coming to Christ. So I have to make sure that I'm walking in the path that I want to show him, that I want him to come back to Christ. So I have to make sure that every day that that's how I'm living. Even when it's hard, I got to make sure that every day that that's how I'm living. And no, maybe we're not equally yoked yet in that sense. But again, his upbringing is Christian belief. So because I know that that's his upbringing, I know that those are the things that I want to make sure that I shine all the time. I want to make sure that when I'm reading my word, not that I need him to see me, not that I need him to say, see me, it's how I live. It's what I produce on a daily that shows that, okay, he can, this is what he sees. This can bring him back to Christ because I am his wife. So I think that that's really, really important. So you guys got any comments? Let's read Joe's comment because it looks like a good comment. Let's see. While I agree, but taking the walk with Christ doesn't mean I have to endure frackle-knackle bull malarkey either, hence the title. I totally agree. I definitely totally agree with that. I definitely ain't taking no mess now. Now there's time. Yeah, another topic. Yep. I know when the Holy Ghost say shut it on up, Dewana.
No, you definitely don't have to take any BS, I don't think, but I think what we have to be mindful of, and I have to remind myself of this too, we have to always remember to extend grace and mercy,
yes.
the same two things that are extended to us every single day. So we are not above God's rule and grace and mercy. So if we're not above what he says, how can we implement our own rules? I'm not saying be a doormat or let anybody walk over you or constantly bring toxic traits and behaviors or things that you don't like to you, but we have to be humble and humble ourselves. I know I do a great majority of the time, and extend grace and mercy to people.
That was a big one for me, honestly. That's been a big one for me all the time. Not the fact that I don't want to, but I used to feel like people don't extend it to me enough. Like, dang, I know I messed up, but dang, and I thought, that was something that I definitely had some, challenges with. So I think we left off at, what were we talking about?
Sexually unequally yoked, I remember.
So we actually, before we go back to that, we are going to take a quick commercial break because we do have an amazing sponsor that we want to highlight. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. So we have a new sponsor that I am so excited about. This sponsor is doing amazing things. If you guys remember our Pearl of Wisdom last week, her name was Crystal. She was our Pearl of Wisdom, and this is her business, Possibility Youth Foundation. Possibility Youth Foundation is hosting their first annual pad project called Wings of Love Africa. Their goal is to collect 5,000 pieces of sanitary pads and distribute them to young girls in Ghana. They want to make this project annual and distribute them where there is need locally and abroad. So listen, guys, I want you guys to make sure that if you can see that information, if not, just send us a message on Facebook so that we can get those sanitary pads out to her. Their organization is called Possibility Youth Foundation. Again, it's Possibility Youth Foundation, and they do need our support. So we just want to thank our sponsor, and we want to definitely be a help, help where we can. So we are going to work on that, Crystal, and we definitely will show this again next week. So we definitely are going to work on getting those things. And if you guys want to donate anything, just please reach out to us and we'll get that information over to Crystal. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Wow. So the network is going to donate. Crystal, if you are on, the network is going to donate $100. So, oh my gosh, to God be the glory. That's so amazing. So the network, Crystal, is going to donate $100 to Possibility Foundation and the Wings of Love. So make sure that you send me a message later on today so that I can get you connected. Or you actually have, I sent you her email too earlier today. Yep. So thank you guys. So that's amazing. So let's go ahead before we end and go ahead and talk about the sexual part. Now, Orion, what were you saying? Because I want you to go back over that really quick.
Oh, what I was saying is, I think sex is not everything, but it is something, especially in a relationship, marriage, wherever you deem it appropriate to put it. Because I know lots of people have different rules and guidelines when it comes to sex. A lot of people don't believe in sex before marriage and all that whole other topic. But I think in a relationship, if you are unequal in the sexual department, it can lead to infidelity, feeling insecure about your partner or about yourself, and those are the breeding grounds for lots of other problems and issues. So sex is not everything, but it's something, and I think that is a huge area in relationships that has to be on track.
I totally agree. What you think, James?
I totally agree with her. And that's another thing that need to be discussed
At the beginning,
at the beginning.
your dudes and what you gonna do, what you not gonna do, what you expecting, what you all of those or what?
The expectation, no, because you don't know.
Okay.
So, you know, you might be asking somebody to do something that they're not capable of doing.
Well, then that's where, to me, when you ask that question, though, because you're saying that it should be discussed at the beginning.
It should be discussed.
So if you ask that question at the beginning, if things are discussed where you like certain things done, and that is a no right there at the beginning, do you continue with the relationship, or do you just walk through that relationship and then get upset? You pissed off because these things aren't happening sexually in the relationship because you put people don't like to be held accountable.
Right.
No.
That's it right there. People don't like to be held accountable. I told you that I'm not interested in doing this in the bedroom,
Right.
and you still came in a relationship with me, and boom.
You gotta listen to what people
do.
You gotta listen to what people's sexual limitations are. That is major. So if someone tells you straight off the dribble that they don't like, chocolate syrup on their arm, and here you come with a gallon of chocolate syrup, you're gonna set yourself up for disappointment.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Take the first clue, not as I can persuade her, or I can persuade him. No, brother, sister, you cannot. Respect people's sexual limitations and find someone that likes chocolate syrup, because it's not going to work out.
I definitely think that we have to, I think that that's a huge one. I definitely think, we don't even have a lot of time to go into that. So we'll actually come back around to something. We'll bring some more content out about that, because I think that that's a huge deal. And I'm so grateful that I'm under, a leader that definitely promotes sex and how it's done, and the great things that comes out of it, and you better do it, and all, so I'm grateful to be under that type of leadership, because those type of problems is, those things are issues in my home, and when they have become an issue, it's becoming it was an issue not off of the things that we were unequal in. No, it wasn't that. It was just some misunderstandings, but you communicate, and I think that's where we miss it a lot of times, the communication part. Like you said, bring it in at the beginning, and I think that that's where the problem comes in, that because you do have to be on a somewhat even playing field when you're dealing with sex, and you I think you do have to be, because some people,
absolutely,
there is some people that don't truly just does not like it, and they don't care about doing it, but then you have another let's use the man, because he's gonna love it. So you have this man that loves it, and you typically don't, you can say, hey, I'm willing to give it, once a month, twice a month, and he looking at you like, nah, because you gave it up a whole bunch of times at the beginning, and no, this just ain't flying with me no more. And then you come telling me, well, I just don't even like to do it that much.
See, that's being, untruthful,
the devil is a liar,
false. That's like a false prophet, man. You being untruthful. You can't do that. You cannot do that. And man, you can't do it either. But that's why, like I said, communication. Y'all gotta come at a even ground. Dude want to do it every day. You know you ain't gonna do it every day. Y'all gotta meet in the middle somewhere, because don't fool the man saying, okay, I'm gonna do it in the beginning, and then y'all get into it deeper
Don't
down in the
set yourself up
relationship.
for failure.
Exactly, because then you're gonna be looking at the man when he got he got an attitude, because like it's all said in the beginning, you want that man to go out and get you this, get you that, take care of the household. You gotta take care of that man.
You do.
That's right.
And that was one of the things that me and my husband definitely was bringing up. Like, hey, you put these expectations. You make a list and say, okay, I want the trash taken out. I want the car fixed. I want gas in my car every day. Now, although I'm bringing up, stuff that's minor to people, but I won't but this is not some people's list. This stuff's not on. Some women take out the trash while it's a man laying up there in the house. So that's a whole different thing to me anyway. But, you got this list that, where you got, I want you to take the trash out. I want you to make sure the car fixed. I want you to make sure all the bills paid. I want you to make sure that you buy me this. I want you to make sure that you're doing this. I want you to make sure this is done. I want you to make sure that we take yearly trips. I want you to make sure that we have this. I want you to make sure that our savings accounts say this. But you got to make sure that when those things are needed, when he need his laundry, it's already done. When he need his home cooked meal, it's already done and ready and hot. When he needs this from you, when he say, all right, what bills were paid today? Because a lot of relationships is like that. A lot of relationships, he bringing it, he produce all this, you having him produce this. All right. So what did you make sure? Okay. So can you pull out that tax bill? And she got to make sure she pull it out. So we have to make sure that we're accountable for our part when we expect that type of list. And
that's right.
That's all I'm saying, guys. That's all I'm saying. So, I think this show was definitely, it's definitely amazing. It can go further. We only have an hour of a show. I will take a couple questions. Orion.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what do you think about being unequally yoked? You know what? Nope. I'm gonna ask you that privately, and then I'll come back. I'll post something on Facebook, because I should have asked you this earlier today.
No problem.
Before I asked James, do you have anything else?
Yeah. But
yes, I love it.
But you probably don't have the time.
No, go ahead. We started a little late.
One of the main things I wanted to talk about is coming into a relationship with children. How you raise the children.
Okay.
And trust me, I've been there.
All right, Lord.
And it was steady bumping heads.
All right, producer, we're going to have to take a little time on this one. No, keep going, because this one for me. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I mean, I just a general topic, far as raising children, for example, you got one parent that's really strict on, being an upstanding citizen, a student in school, handling business at home. But when they don't do it, you got the other parent that's just lenient. You put them on I put them on punishment. She ends up not taking them off punishment.
She takes them off?
Yeah. So, for example,
you're
on punishment for a month. No game, no this, no that. Next thing you know, I told him he could get the game back after a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see,
it's the same thing. Same thing. Conversations have to be had.
And see, the conversation was at the beginning of everything. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, you got two sets of children coming into the.
Oh, so this is a blended family.
It's a blended family.
Okay.
And I don't, you treat all your children the same way, but this person breaks off and take their child, and it's all different.
So I'll go ahead and tell my business like I have to every week, because I'm set up this way every single week. But it's cool. I understand, So I understand where I'm at and what I got to do. So this is actually something that I'm dealing with in my house, because we are a blended family, and my husband has expectations that sometimes I just disagree with. Now, I don't go into it where I'm going to be totally disregarding to, what he says. But sometimes, and I'll bring up the example you just gave about the game. So we had an incident where, we took my son's game, and my husband took my son's game, and he brought it in the room, and, I believe he said, if I'm not mistaken, I think he said like, he'll get the game back when we to give it back to him. Okay. I didn't realize that the we really meant we have to give the input. I really thought that, okay, we got to give, when we give it back. So about a month went past, and my son called me and he asked for the game, and I told him, I said, ask James, can you get it? I don't mind, ask him. And he asked him, and it was a blow up. And it was a blow up because I didn't understand that it was a decision to be united. It was a united decision that he wanted to show our son that we were a united front and we were doing it together. I missed it, the entire thing. As a matter of fact, I don't even think that I understood until like last week or 2 weeks ago, and this was a couple months ago, that because I really just was like, I did exactly what you put him on punishment. You took it. What was the big deal? Okay. Now go ahead, tell me, James.
Okay, so did he convey that to you as we're doing this together, or was it assumed on his part?
He used those words, and he used those words we. So in his mind, I told you we were gonna give it back to him when we discussed when we were giving it back to him.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, well, what?
Okay, well, you kind of dropped the ball on that.
Okay.
I'm just, hey, we live and we learn.
But and we still deal with a lot of blended family issues in our home because I am the parent that, sometimes I sometimes feel that, there is, to me, I feel that there is some things that is kind of unfair, and I try my best not to bring it, like we don't argue in front of the kids. That's just something, because I was brought up in a home, domestic violence home. That is something that I really just like, no, we can have a conversation, either through text quietly or upstairs, and that's just that. And he's the same way, okay. So we do that, but I even get in trouble when I even bring it to him, like, hey, I disagree with you, and it's like a big old blow up. You ain't supposed to disagree with me, but I just honestly, the blended family issue sometimes really is a work within itself. And seriously, I told my husband the other day, these are areas that I really need your help in, because a lot of times I don't see what you see as you're trying to bring correction as a man and I'm a woman, or I'm a mom and you're a dad, and you're trying to bring a certain correction, and you want me to get on board with you as a united front. And sometimes I really don't understand, well, why I got to be on board with you on that? What if I don't agree with you? And sometimes that's how I feel, but for him, it's a no. It's a you and I, and it's a them. And I just be like, well, I disagree, and I don't get it.
Actually, it is you. You got to be more open to that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And do you and your family have like a family forum?
I don't disagree with everything, so let me correct that.
Okay.
I don't disagree with everything of it's a him and I, but some things, if I feel that it's something that's a unfair treatment, or if I feel that, no, honey, you just didn't listen to what he said, and let me tell you exactly how I think that he meant it or she meant it, and then we can go from there. Now
he has to be receptive to that as well, because men make mistakes. We ain't always right, and that's where you come in. But maybe it's the way both of you approach each other with different situations. You can't come in screaming. You can't come in hollering.
You're right.
So in a calm manner, y'all have to discuss that out. And you both got to be receptive to what each other are saying. Sometimes you be like, okay, let me sleep on it. You sleep on it, and in your sleep, God can open it up in your dreams and be like, okay, I see where you're coming from. Now, do as a family, do you have a family forum? Like a meeting like once a month.
We used to, but it has stopped within, we used to. But
we used to have it in my household with
I do think it's necessary.
It's necessary because at least once a month you all should sit down, talk with the kids, find out what's going on with them. They find out what's going on with you all, and as a family come up with some goals for the next month, and
Sharma said we have to be careful to not frustrate our kids' purpose too, and I think that's sometimes because I notice certain things, and I'm not. This is not to say that my husband is not spiritual, that he does not have an anointing. This is not to say any of that. It's just sometimes because of where we are, I sometimes notice some things that he don't, and I have a hard time conveying that to him of, nope, this is why I did it, or this is why I didn't do this. Because to him, my husband is like a Marine. That he grew up, his mother is from the Army. That's how he grew up. So sometimes his stuff is really like boom, 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 boom. And I'm just so lax and he can't stand it. And so we knock heads because of that. And I really, 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 I told him this past week, like, babe, I really need help in this area. Because I don't want us to bump heads anymore in this area. Like, I really need strength in that area. So because that's your strong point, you have a different vision of what you see when it comes to our blended family. And because of that, I'm tired of us bumping heads on that level. So I need some help. Because, yes, I'm the mama that's, I see a little teary eye sometime and I may, bend a little bit. And I'm not saying I'm no punk or nothing, but sometimes I get to where I'm like that. And so, honey, I need help in that area. Yes, I need help in the area where, I have a grown-up son at home and he got to be pushed in a certain way. And I ain't doing it that way because I have some, feelings on how he may feel about me. And so, babe, guess what? I need help in that area. So I honestly just told him that a few days ago.
Yeah, he and I are similar because I kind of got that little military style, so I understand.
PK and military, huh? And
I wasn't
both named James.
Yeah, I wasn't in the military. I was
military
in
style.
Yeah, military style. But the main important thing is y'all both love each other. Y'all love y'all children, so and y'all love,
Okay.
Y'all love y'all family, so y'all gonna work it out. It's gonna get there. So
yeah. So, do you have anything else? You have anything else, to add? Okay.
No, not for tonight.
Okay. So we're going to wrap this up. We did go over a little bit. We appreciate you, Prophet, for letting us go over. We did have a great night. I am excited for what's getting ready to come. I'm excited to be back with my host on next week. I'm excited that I know, right? I'm excited that my host will be back here with me next Thursday. Thank you so much, James, for coming to bring us a male perspective. We definitely do want you to come back.
Oh,
so
let me know.
Definitely.
Let me know.
And we will be supporting your podcast when it comes out, right. Sports and current events. Maybe I'll be able to get up on some of my sports when you come out because, I'm a little rusty. So I'll make sure that I tune in when that comes on. Guys, listen. I can't. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. I know. I told him. I'm gonna get him with that one too. So one thing I want you to do, guys, if you are interested in being a sponsor or advertiser, I want you to make sure that you support us in any kind of way. Becoming a podcast supporter. The information is on the screen. Also, if you have a business or organization that you want to advertise on our show, please reach out to me. You can send me an inbox message, or you can give me a call at 313-753-9032. I am open to putting we are open to putting this on our show to advertise. We do have a few restrictions, but it's not many. So make sure that you guys just reach out if you're open. If you need a promo video or a commercial, do not let that discourage you. Please, 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 please still reach out. We do have people that can help you with that. We have the network here. They can get you together with that. We do have people to help you with that. So make sure that you still reach out if you're interested in becoming an advertiser. Remember, everybody, there is no competition in sisterhood. And remember to always be willing to fix your sister's crown. All right, that is it.
No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, there is a force that unites us all. Join the movement and let your lips do the talking with Aide Cosmetics, available on aidecosmetics.com.